Greetings to you, Namaste. This video is from a series on the front split. Today we'll analyze the biomechanics, anatomy, and also the mental component of the yoga split called Hanumanasana. And in all subsequent videos, we will work on preparatory exercises for the front split. You can find them on my YouTube channel in the front split playlist. But don't rush to move on to the next videos just yet. Stay here. Let's break down the basics. What for, why, and how. In yoga, the front split is named after the divine hero of the Ramayana epic, Hanuman. According to the Ramayana, Hanuman made a giant leap across the ocean to find Sita and help Rama. This leap isn't about physical strength, but about self-belief, devotion, and overcoming doubt. This is exactly the moment that Hanumanasana symbolizes. Hanumanasana often triggers fear, especially of injury or pain, control and tension, as well as impatience. But its essence is to surrender to the process, not just to reach the split. In practice, it teaches us to let go of control, trust the body, and embrace vulnerability. While performing the Hanumanasana front split, a deep opening of the hip flexors and the back of the leg occurs in the body. Pelvic stabilization is engaged, requiring a balance of strength and flexibility. It's not stretching for the sake of a split, but the integration of the whole body. Interesting fact, the pelvis in Hanumanasana does not rotate. It's very important to keep the pelvis square. Many sit in a split but don't do Hanumanasana because there's no leg activation and no core work. In the yogic system, Muladhara, stability, and Anahata, the heart, are activated. So often after the pose, a sense of openness and even emotions arise, even to the point of tears. Simply put, Hanumanasana isn't about the split, but about the moment when you think, I don't know if it'll work, but I'm jumping anyway. Hanumanasana is a multi-directional movement of both legs plus pelvic stabilization. Front leg, hip flexion, back leg, hip extension. Pelvis neutral, square pelvis. This is important. Not a split at any cost, but a controlled split with a neutral pelvis. Let's break down the biomechanics by segments. The pelvis is the main element. It must remain square. The front iliac bone pulls back, the back iliac bone pulls forward. A posterior pelvic tilt of the back leg occurs, along with a slight anterior tilt of the front leg. The mistake is an open pelvis. It takes the load off the muscles and leads into passive flexibility. The front leg goes into hip flexion plus knee extension. The biceps femoris, semitendinosus, and semimembranosus are stretched. The quadriceps is activated, especially to protect the knee. The key is active knee extension, which prevents ligament collapse. The back leg goes into hip extension, stretching the iliopsoas and rectus femoris. This is the most limiting area for most people. A mistake is arching the lower back instead of actual hip extension. The front foot is flexed toward you, protecting the knee. The back foot is either on the instep or on the toes for stability. We pull both legs isometrically, as if we want to bring them together. The depth of a front split depends not only on muscles, but also on the nervous system's tolerance to stretching and a sense of safety. If there's fear, pain, or sharp pressure, the body triggers a protective reflex and won't let you go down. Therefore, a slow entry plus breathing is the path to progress. Hanumanasana is 50% biomechanics, 30% nervous system, 20% psychology, and almost never just flexibility. Let's look at the biomechanics of the split in degrees. The front leg goes into hip flexion at 80 to 100 degrees. The back leg goes into extension at a maximum of 20 degrees. How then do we get a 180-degree split? The back leg can go into more extension through an arch, but to avoid doing this with the lower back, our key is the pelvic tilt. Front leg, anterior pelvic tilt, back leg, posterior pelvic tilt. This gives us an additional 40 to 60 degrees. Extension in the lumbar region gives us 10 to 30 degrees, but that's compensation, not pure hip mobility. So the hips are about 100 degrees, pelvic tilt about 50, and the lower back about 20. Why is this important from a safety standpoint? If you force a split at any cost, you almost always overload the lower back, overstretch ligaments, and lose control. In future videos, we'll work on preparatory exercises, control the pelvis, and our goal won't be 180 degrees. Our goal will be a correct Hanumanasana, pelvic control, movement distribution, and active muscle work. Now, with a calm heart and soul, I can send you to the subsequent practices dedicated to the front split, confident that you'll do everything safely and correctly.